I told you these are kind of interview questions on those bug severity and the priority of the bug. Priority have to do with the business point of view, while severity have to do with the code's point of view. Okay. And I told you it defines the severity of the bug, it defines the effect has on the system. And I told you about realizing the severity of the bug is critical from risk assessment and management point of view. So bug severity had to do with that of the code, while that of the priority had to do with the business point of view. I want you all to go back to those videos because these are definitions you can give at interviews. And if explained like that, what I give to you, it will give a very good reputation on your interview panel. So bug severities, and also talk about those bug life cycle. I told that anything we do has, firstly, we have to start with a new phase of them all in a bug life cycle. We create a bug, we log in the bug, it tends to be new bug, and they are assigning the bug. Then when you open the bug, then the developer will have to work on it. We either reject it or defy it. So there's a cycle why we treat those bugs. So it depends on different organization. Your company might have a different way. The QA team has a way of treating the bug. So it's defined. But the typical example of bug life cycle is has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 phases, 9 phases of where you treat a bug depending on the organizations. So we'll talk about bug life cycle. It has a lot of phases. We have new, assign, open. I think I'm able to share the screen. I think that's what we did last week before this particular what you have on your screen right now. I know we already done with most of the fundamentals of testing. We are done with all those ones. So what we are diving into is the managerial part of it. Okay. So this is what brought us about what we call agile in software testing. Okay. So we have done with what we call the fundamental types of testing. We have done with science testing, SDLC. Those are testing techniques and different types of testing. So that are fundamentals of testing. Now, what we are diving into right now, before we end up our classes and start talking about database testing and all those things, start doing some codes aspect of it, running some tests, some functionalities of our testing, need to know about database testing. So what we have finished in the past few weeks and past months is all about fundamental types of testing. And I know if you're able to grab something out of it and takes a note of it because these are actually what we've been asked in your interviews. So we're diving into, from now, we will dive into the managerial part of it, which will take us a few 2 to 3 classes before we end up then going to database testing, they end up with this course outline. And for those going to database testing, we go into that and you know that you are okay to be a QA analyst. Anyone have any question?
Yeah, I think I might have a little question, right? I'm going back to the severity and priority. So I just want to give an example to see what your opinion is going to be. So in our priority and severity, for example, let's assume that there's an application that's supposed to accept like different cards, right? Like debit card, credit cards, all other cards. And during testing, you realize that all the cards are being accepted except one while you're testing. I want to know, how do you categorize it? Like, are you going to make it a priority or in severe? Is it going to be critical?
You want to insert the card.
Let's say that you're testing an application that accept cards, debit card, credit cards, all cards, and everything seems fine. All the cards like are positive, but when it comes to like, let's say credit card, you find out that there's a defect. So are you gonna categorize it like the severity of it? Is it going to be critical?
Okay, well, what I told you about what I tell you about priority is all about. I told you in the previous class, I told you that priority of a bug is how to do with the business point of view. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I give an instance of that of I'll give you an instance of that of a I give you an instance of that of what the Google page, okay? A little spending on the Google page can be the priority of that particular bug because I thought it depends on the user landings. Okay, it depends on the user landings of that particular page. A common mistake can be priority of that bug because of it ought to do with business value, what the user can see. So severity of the bug, it ought to do with the code aspect of it. So now you are talking about that of the ATM card. What effect that ATM card, that debit card is to you yourself? What is the effect of that particular ATM card? You insert into that ATM card. You can't able to use it. So it ought to be an impact to the customer and ought to be an impact to the user, you using it. So you have to be bug severity for that particular bug, for that particular system you are trying to log in that particular ATM card on it. So you're taking a use cases of that particular scenario. So in that particular aspect, you have to be the severity of that bug because the system you are logging that ATM is not working effective. They're not accepting that particular credit card because they have an impact to the user and also having an impact to the developer who develop a particular application. So to the you call it the payment gateway is not accepting the user to make payment, and also the owner of their particular application is able to receive his money because they're able to make payment for that particular purchases. So you got to be severity, you got to be critical. Then, so you, the user, is also going to be um, going to be um, priority of that particular use case is going to be critical in that particular aspect. So all depends on your scenario. So I told you that priority is going to be high, severity is going to be critical because severity has to do with what the code aspect of it. The payment gateway you're talking about because of their particular owner of that particular site is not getting his money. And the code aspect of it is going to be severity, going to be critical, while the priority aspect of it, the business aspect of it is going to be priority going to be very, very high in that scenario. So do I make myself clear to you that
Um, yeah. So the reason I asked the question is this, right? I was listening to one video, and the example given was like, let's say that seven cards were supposed to work properly, while six are working fine, and one has a defect, one out of seven. So, and according to the video, the person said that it's It's not it's just a minor issue you can come back and so but in my mind I disagree because things according to your teaching that anything that has to dent the business part of that development has to be a priority. So that's why I say let me ask you to clear my doubt.
Now, I told about priority and severity. I told you about priority can be high, priority can be medium, priority can be low priority. So I gave you different examples of them all. So a common mistake can be a very high priority. So if you feel that users, okay, since they use the video is telling you that it cannot be, it's going to be, it can be a very high priority. So it depends on the particular scenario. If you feel, because I give you an example of priority can be, I gave you different quadrants of them all. Okay. I gave you different quadrants. I told you that priority can be, it can be high priority and low severity. It can be high priority, low severity, can be high priority, can be low priority, and severity is going to be also be low. It can be high priority, severity can be critical. It can be low priority, severity can be critical. So what quadrants do your scenario falls into all matters to you when you are writing your own test cases and you're raising your own bug at that particular scenario. So if you feel that this particular thing I'm testing, this particular thing I'm finding the bug in it is gonna be like of a medium severity because they have the less number of users, less number of landings. People don't actually use it as much. Then it will be fall under that particular scenario, that particular medium. It's gonna be a medium severity. So it all depends where you are getting your scenarios from, where your bug is being raised. So that's why if you will go back and watch the video again and see kind of examples I gave, you're able to finalize what it all fall into. I gave different quadrants. Priority can be low, priority can be severity can be critical. So what quadrant they fall into? Like what we have a week before, I was back going for dental appointment. I found out that it was cancelled due to they said that the micro teens was down. So in that particular case, what does it fall into? It fall into the priority is high and critical severity is critical. Severity is critical in terms that the developed part of view is critical because there's a defect, there's a bug in the system that nobody can able to access the Microsoft team. And in the business point of view, what priority is, how to do a business point of view, is that users cannot able to use the Microsoft team. In the developer part of view, code part of view, that there is a bug in the system. In the priority aspect of it is that user can able to use the Microsoft. They can really access those working in the meat industry or whatever organization you want to, they're using the Microsoft team. They can able to access it. So every applications appointment has to be cancelled. So in that particular quadrant, it fall into that quadrant. Priority is high and severity is critical.
Excuse me, Stanley.
Yes.
Um, Let me throw light to what I think he's trying to say. Um, let's say it's a payment gateway, right? And in a nutshell, it should take all the credit cards, and it's taking American Express, it's taking Visa, and it's not taking Discovery. And I guess what he's trying to say, maybe a lot of people don't use Discovery. Mainly people use American Express and Visa. So in that case, the priority, is it going to be high or medium?
The priority is going to be medium. Okay, because not everybody uses American Express.
No,
You get
Discovery.
me? Yeah, Discovery, sorry, Discovery. Like now, I just found out that in eBay, I was trying to make a purchase on eBay. I found out eBay gave a flash that from August 17th, they're going to stop accepting American Express. I have American Express. I don't use it for a long time. I don't even use it. So I went to mistakenly clicked on that American Express purchase. I don't know because I make it as default payment. You know, when I don't need to start selecting. I have different cards on it. So it's on default. And I purchased and clicked on everything. And so and it went. I was like, I don't actually where did I didn't see any deduction from any of my card I'm using. I found that this is an old credit card I have from 3 years ago. I don't even use it. So there's a difference. That's what they're finding out now. How is it going to happen? The merchants already shipped the items. So you have to ask for return. So you have to return back his item, but because he didn't get any payments, unless eBay want to pay that person back. So this is a deep bug that is happening there. That's why they want to scrap American Express in their system. As from August 17th, it will be we will do it even by yourself. Manually remove it. No, you don't need to even remove by yourself. They will take it off. I think they're having a lot of bug being so in that scenario, which by that it accept all cards. Not every, I don't even so I don't have discovery or whatever. Okay, so maybe this one doesn't have. So you accept all cards, but it doesn't accept this discovery. So it's gonna be a medium. Priority in that particular aspect. Because that's why I said if you feel okay, I told you that there in between low priority bug, okay, and that of the high in between the low priority and high priority lies the medium. Okay, so that said, I say if you feel anything which has less number of usage landings or anything that has less number of using your credit card, pay to payments, your gateway, whatever it is. So if anything which has less number of user landings, we have a low priority. And anything which each and every user is going to see, we have a high priority. So I then say to you that if you feel it's important and not many users using your credit card, you discover it's important to use to log in. So people might not be a customer to that particular discovery card. So many users are not going to use that. So if you feel that your users are going to come under that page, or user may not be able to use that particular credit card, not all users may not be able to use that particular credit card, then it will be a medium the priority, as if it's not accepting it. So it's going to be medium because not everybody, because other ones are going, other credit cards are used and to make their payments on that payment gateway. So you go fall under that medium priority above because priority, I repeat again, is all to do with business value. Okay, business point of view. What I explained last. So if you can go and watch back the video again, then if you have any question, let me know. Do I make it clear to you now, Mike?
Yeah. Thank you.
So if just have your mind, if you feel that people are not going to use that particular card, just less number of people are going to use it. So that falls on that medium priority. Business as part of view, that's priority. Code part of view, severity. So that's why I explain the difference between two of them all. I make it in four different quadrants. Your priority can be low, while your severity can be critical. So what is the example for it? These are what kind of interview question they ask you. Okay. What is the priority is low and critical severity is critical? Can you explain this scenario to us? Okay, when there is in your organization, have you ever fallen into different scenario where there is priority can be your priority is low and severity is critical? Have it in back of your mind that priority is critical when it comes to severity has to do with the code point of view, while priority has to do with the business point of view. Understanding the priority and the risk assessment of that particular bug is in a critical point of view. So you need to know what that severity is. Severity is realizing the severity of a bug is critical from risk assessment and management point of view. All right. And I also expect to you that severity defines the effect the bug has on the system. Any more highlights? Please take note on that because there's mostly asked interview question, different between priority and severity. And also the bug life cycle too. So these are just normally what I see. So all those things we are now diving into, all those are the fundamentals of testing. Then now from now on, we start dealing with the managerial part of testing, the managerial part of it. Okay, we are done with the types of testing, SDLC and all those stuff. But from now, we start talking about the managerial part of testing. Okay, so can someone tell me what is Agile? Am I visible to you all?
Yeah, I think you say something about agile some time ago. It's just, something that's being able to move like really fast and quickly, like something that's really active.
Yes, previously I discussed in the last class, in that section, we started with the demo class. We have SDLC, we have STLC, we have in SDLC, we have different type of models, waterfall model, V model, So I said Agile is, I also like to, I gave people kind of a highlight of Agile Manifesto, what is Agile is all about. Before we go into that, which is Agile is not part of this SDLC or STLC or any model I kind of illustrate. I just give the kind of Agile Manifesto. If you guys can draw it back, remember what I said there. I give a little bit of a Agile Manifesto. So there I said Agile is not any software development life cycle that you can see. It doesn't include that on SDLC or waterfall or V model or incremental model, any of what's a waterfall, any SDLC model we talked about. So Agile is not any of those SDLC. So don't get confused between Agile and software development life cycle, which we discussed. Okay, so don't get confused between the term, these two terms. Okay, so and also don't get confused between Agile and DevOps. I don't know, most of you have heard that word DevOps. Have you heard that word DevOps?
Yeah.
There are people that call it DevOps engineer. I told you about these also. Those are deployed that particular software, production manager, and DevOps engineer. These are a profile that do that deployment. When I talk about SDLC, planning phase, defining phase, then so have you heard anything about DevOps? Have you heard anyone about DevOps? Frank, have you heard anything about DevOps? Don't get confused between Agile and DevOps.
I've heard about it, but I don't really know nothing about it.
So when we're talking about SDLC, I told you that in SDLC, we have different phases of SDLC. If you remember, in SDLC, we have the planning phase, we have the defining phase, we have the designing, we have the, what else do you have in SDLC? So remember, defining,
Execution.
designing, and what again?
We have execution.
No
No,
deployment.
no, it's a phase. Planning comes first, the planning phase. Then
Planning
this is
design,
defining, then start designing it, then building. After building, what else?
and testing.
Deployment.
No, not deployment.
Say maintenance.
After building is testing.
Yes, that's your own stage, testing. Then after testing, what else?
Testing deployment.
Yeah, so the deployment is a profile of these DevOps people, DevOps engineers, or the production manager. They do the deployment of that particular software. So that's why I want to let you know that don't get it twisted between DevOps and Agile. Okay, it's two different thing here. Okay, so don't get confused between Agile and DevOps. Both are different things as well. DevOps is a very good DevOps is a very good impact on Agile, but DevOps is a profile itself. They deploy that particular software, right? So it's a very good profile itself. It's not any type of methodology or something like that. So it's another different profile. They both have a very good part on our own organization on the QA and an agile team or whatever what we're going to learn today. So don't get twisted. The DevOps engineers, production manager, these are people that deploy that particular application to the production server. What you see, as I told you, when we deal with SDLC, I say what you see on your on your eBay or your Amazon or your chasebank.com, your browser, what you see in your website, they are all on production server. It's already deployed, all right? That has been deployed for you can able to use the application. So that's what DevOps is a profile. So what's the meaning of Agile itself? Agile, what is Agile? What is Agile? Forget about I want the English grammatical terms. What is Agile?
Uh,
Um,
something that's really active. Something that's like acting fast.
Yes. So anyone?
I can say is a process of collaborating and making sure that a project is is being developed in a faster way.
Yeah. Anything, yeah, all you're saying the same things quickly, agility or whatever. So Agile is able to move quickly. So that's the grammatical terms. So Agile is a methodology in the software development life cycle. Okay. I say it's not anything that have to do with this SDLC methodology. No. It's kind of it's a methodology in the software life cycle, development life cycle. The SDLC is a methodology, it's a method we apply. Okay, not that it's a kind of software development, as in kind of models, what you used to embark on. No, it's kind of a methodology, the kind of method you use to deploy a particular software. So it's a methodology. It's not a model. Okay, a classical model like you have a Honda. We have Honda Accord, Honda Odyssey. No, okay. So that is for Honda Accord. So how do we drive this Honda Odyssey? That is what the Agile is. How able to make this Honda Accord move in a speedy way? What kind of turbulence engine, 5.0, 3.5, V6 engine. So that is just it's classical. Similarly, that's what Agile is. So you cannot, it's kind of a methodology of the SDLC, software development life cycle, which allows us to move very quickly. Okay, so more so in software development life cycle, what happens when we move a software quickly? We will be able to deliver a working software. True or false? Right? Correct?
True.
Yes. Okay, so we're able to move that particular software. If I want to go to California or I want to go to New York, I know there is a very far distance from from Texas. So I want to go into a car. That means I need to a turbulence car to drive very fast. So that is why to spend 2 days on the road. I want to drive so speedily. Okay, I don't want to walk a normal way the car is running. So I want to run more than that. So it's just to deliver a working software quickly. So that's why Agile is very popular in the modern day industry today. It's very, very popular. Every industry wants to go on Agile. So that makes it very popular. So anything taking less time in anything taking less time in delivery for the client is meant to be popular because market is all about delivering things in the less amount of time. Okay. So also the quality should be there. If you're delivering any particular software, because you are on Agile or whatever it is, you are in the kind of methodology you use, we should deliver a non-working software. So the quality of the software should be there. You cannot compromise when you are giving bad quality product in 1 week. Okay, so that will not make any sense. So quality is not compromisable, all right? Quality is not compromisable. So you don't need to compromise because we're using Agile. Yeah, because we're using Agile, our quality is not, we can't, that's why we're able to give a working software. So quality is not compromisable when you do this. Okay, so you have to deliver a good working software to your clients, right? So quality is not compromisable when you are giving bad quality product in 1 week. So that will not make any sense. So quality is not compromisable thing. In Agile, quality is very, very important. Quality is very, very important in Agile. If your company, you guys are embarking on Agile, which is 90% of your industry, you'll be working with using Agile methodology. So you have to deliver a working software. Okay, so your quality can't be compromised. You can't compromise when you are in Agile and tell your customer because of your running, that's why you are giving this not working software. So in Agile, individual and team interactions over processes and tools. Okay. So in Agile, there is a lot of emphasis on individuals over tools. I'm not going to say this tool will give that thing or thereabouts. This is a QA member. This is a dev member. That's a development member. Those developing the software. This is a QA member. Okay, so emphasis on individuals over tools. There are more interactions. So individual and team interactions are over processes and tools. So in that Agile you are in, okay, so I'm not going to say this tool will give that thing or thereabouts. This is a QA member. This is a develop member. Something like that does not happen in Agile. Okay, so in Agile, everyone is a team member. Okay, everyone is a team member in Agile. Everyone is a team member in Agile. Okay, so everyone works together in Agile. So everyone is a team member. Of course, there will be, though there will be someone who will be doing QA. Okay, QA people will be there. There are going to be people who will be doing QA. You guys will be there. Will be there. There will be someone who will be doing the development of that particular software. The development people, developer will be there. All right, in Agile. All right. So those kind of things are there. You cannot do each and everything. You can't do each and everything. You are doing development thing. You are doing the QA things in Agile. No, you cannot do everything. But you will have idea of what dev people are doing. Dev people also have idea of what QA are doing also. Dev team will have the idea of how QA happens. QA team can have the idea how the front end. I hope you guys understand what I mean by front end, right? Frank, do you understand what I mean by front end developers? Front end.
Yes.
Okay. What you can see on this page, like you have seen my screen now, that is front end UI. All right. So in Agile, the QA team can have the idea how the front end development happens. If they are not, if they are not going to the back end, if they are not going to the back end development kind of stuff, they will have they can sort of they can have the sort of idea what is happening in the front end, so they can debug in a better way. Okay, so they can have some of the idea from development. That is what DevOps is all about. Okay, so they will have idea of everything that is happening here, just idea of what the front end developers are doing, and also what the back end developers are doing. So if there is a bug in the system, they can be able to debug it and know where it's coming from. Okay, so and also people that also the DevOps people also in this team, we also know what the QA aspect is also doing. And as I told you that DevOps is what is DevOps? Can someone tell what is DevOps? What's the meaning of DevOps? DevOps. Do you have the meaning of DevOps?
Is it development operation?
Yes, the development and operation. So development and operations. That's what DevOps is. So the development is known a lot of about development, but operation is doing deployment. Okay, so in DevOps is development and operation. Development, we know a lot of about development, but operation is doing deployment. So testing environment, production environment, UAT environment. I've told you about UAT environment, right? User acceptance testing, okay, environment. All these comes under operations part. What I was trying to discuss about, telling you about, when I was talking, I'll tell you about the V model. You see, we have a user acceptance testing, we have a system testing, all those things, the AUT testing, okay, UAT testing, user acceptance testing. So before the users will test this application. So you guys will test it on behalf of the users. How are you going to behave before you go into the market? So UAT environment, all this comes under operations part. Okay, so you'll be able to know all these things if you are a DevOps engineer, which are working in the team. So in Agile, there is more focus on individual than the processes. How to have that in the back of mind. In Agile, there is more focus on individuals than on the process. So yeah, as I say, working software over comprehensive documentation. Of course, if you have targeting very quick development, then you can have the comprehensive documentation, which happens in the waterfall. Okay, your documentation will not have that much comprehensive like that of the waterfall. I explained to you pass back, because you are targeting very quick developments. Then you cannot have the comprehensive documentation, which happens in the waterfall. You know, waterfall is this, right? You do planning, requirement gathering, you do implementation, and then I think testing is the fourth phase, then deployment, then maintenance, right? So you don't really rely on that comprehensive documentation when you are talking about when you're in Agile. So you cannot have the comprehensive documentation, which happens in this waterfall classical model. Your documentation will not have that much comprehensive, but you will delivering the software for these clients, real-time software. Okay, real-time software you deliver to a client. We'll be providing them in a small batches. As I explained to you, as I told you, everything works together. You have to understand when you're discussing about the principles and the fundamentals of tests. We discuss about this classical models. We have the incremental model. If you can remember, you deliver that working software in batches. You do another one again in batches. You have to provide this software in a time in a chunk of code, the working software, so the client can see what you're developing. So real-time software will be providing to them in a small batches, chunks of code. All right. Then I saw customer collaboration over contracts negotiation. In Agile, what happens in that customer interaction with your team, at least once in a week, almost at most, it can go to every day. Customers can contact the BA team. Customer can contact the BA team, the business analyst team. They can contact the QA team. Okay, can contact the QA team, the dev team, right? Because all of you are in Agile, okay? They can contact, so as a customer collaboration over contract negotiation. They also contact the developer team. So it's more about individuals, all right? So Agile is more or less about individuals and responding to change over following plan. Of course, when you are following Agile, suppose in 1 week you interact with the clients, then the clients say, maybe negotiation by a contract, this text box has to be here. All right. Now they say they don't want to be here. They want it here. The login page, that login page has to be here. And sometimes you may say this is signing, or sometimes it's login, but this is signing. No, let's make it signing. I don't want login, the previous discussion. So responding to change over following plan. Okay, because customer collaboration over your contract negotiation, they can have responding to change. You have to respond to change over the following plan they want, right? The client say, no, I don't want I need the boss here. I need the boss there. So then you have to respond to it, all right? So there is no plan, basically. That is, there is no hide and fast rule when you are working in agile environment. There can be mistake from their side. There can be mistake from the business team also, development team as well. But ultimate thing, the ultimate quality, good software is the ultimate goal in the agile. For that, we say we're not going to follow a lot of processing. We'll not be able to respond to the changes from the clients. No, it's not, doesn't happen in agile. So you have to respond to change over following plan. Customers comes to you all the time to discuss what they want. So you have to be open to what discussions. You have to be open to what change and negotiation of a contracts. Okay, that's what agile is. Can't say because I'm working agile. We don't. You have to be able to change. Hope you're listening. Any question to that? Does you have any question? Ikem, any question?
Um, just to clear like that, I think
No, I don't have a question.
Okay.
it's like agile is similar to incremental model, or like what is the difference between these agile? Because it's like um it's just something similar. So I would like to know the difference between both of them.
You go to your fundamentals of testing when we are talking about fundamentals of testing, SDLC. As I've told you, I said SDLC is not any models. Agile is not any model of SDLC. Agile is working quickly. You have a Honda Accord, Honda Odyssey, Honda CRV. Okay. So how do I want to implement this my CRV to work faster like a car? I don't want to be slow. And it's an SUV, you have to run faster. You have to do what it is being bought for. I want the SUV to be running fast. I don't want to be running slow. So agile is a way of deploying a particular build. Okay. So that's what agile is. It's not any model, classical model of SDLC. SDLC, your company might embark that they want to embark on waterfall, incremental model. I explain incremental model to you, different models of SDLC. Okay. So it's a different thing when it comes to agile. Your company might be working in um, waterfall. It all depends on your organization, which is low, is a step by step. That's what waterfall is. They have this classical model of spiral model, incremental model, V model. These are classical models of SDLC. Okay. But 90% of industry right now, they go on agile because I told you if any software has a less number of deployments, it will be very, very popular. That's why agile is popular. They want to know how it's being done in your own organization. That's the first thing. One of the interview questions has to tell me about yourself. Okay, you start elaborating all these things. This and that, QA analyst, and blah blah blah. In my organization, we work in agile methodology. We use agile methodology. You see that when they say that, they shake their head because you know that 90% that's what they also do. Everybody work in agile. And they want to, that's grabs them that motivation to even hear more. When they hear that word agile, I work in an agile environment. I work with this or BA member, a scrum master, a QA, six QA members, a database engineer, DevOps engineer in this particular software development life cycle. Okay. So my organization, healthcare of New York, is a low insurance provider in the city of Westchester in New York or Bronx in New York, just brief explain about yourself. So that's what Agile is, all right? So it's a way to deploy your particular software in a timely manner. That's why it's popular. So you're talking about what is the incremental model. I explained that to you in the SDLC. So that flow in sequence, you understand more about all these things. But also if your Agile is agility quickly, okay? Deploy that particular, is the method we use to deploy any software we want to and back. Okay, and we have people that works in agile team. Okay, tell me about yourself. I work in an agile team of comprised of BA, the business analyst, the scrum master, development people, QA members, and database engineers. Everybody work in agile because everybody have to put their heads together. Okay. No question more. Should I continue? Any question? Okay, I think that is no. So now let's talk about the Scrum. What do I say about Scrum? Have you heard this word Scrum before? Has anyone had this word before, Scrum?
Oh yeah, I've heard about it.
Scrum, what of you? Anybody has this word, Scrum? So in Agile, there are a few things that are very important. One of them is what we call Scrum. Okay. So what is Scrum in English terms? What is Scrum? Grammar school terms. What is Scrum? Frank, do you have any your tablet there? You can go give what is Scrum? Not technical definition. What do you understand? What is Scrum itself?
Like a crowd of people who are pushing each other.
Anyone? I want you to be vocal so we know you understand what we're talking about today. It's a managerial. It's not about testing itself now. This is a managerial aspect of testing. Okay. Okay. I never heard anything about rugby. You can see my screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that Scrum word comes from what they call rugby game. Okay. So actually, words came from the game called rugby. So in rugby, what happens, you can see on the screen, what happens in rugby is that before the start of the game, before the start of the play, all right, they form a small circle. You can see on the screen here, they form this small circle here, all the players. And they, they form a small circle, and there the player form that circle, and there they put their heads down. You see how they're putting their heads down. They put their heads down, and from there they start to take the ball. So these words came from there, Scrum, from that word, from rugby game. It's a Scrum. All right. Everyone in the team will come to one particular phase. They will put their heads down they put their heads down, all the QA members and everybody, they put their heads down, all the focus will be on one particular rugby ball. And from there, they will start playing the game. So similarly, same things happen in the Scrum, in the Agile methodology. Scrum, Agile methodology. Everyone in the team, be it the development people, be it the Scrum Master, be it the QA member, be it the product owner. I'm going to tell you what the product owner is. The product owner. Have you anyone come about this word product owner?
Yes.
Guys, please, let's be vocal. This is a Nigerian part of what we are discussing. That's why I want you guys to get something out of it, because this is what they must ask for all this. That's why I'm taking myself one after the other to explain this to you very, very um quickly so you can grab it. So what will happen in Scrum is that in the Agile methodology, everyone in the team, be it the dev people, the the QA people or the QA team, dev team, All these people, they form this particular team. All we gather at the start of the day for the Scrum. And from there, their whole focus will be on the software they have to develop. Same as rugby. Their whole focus on that ball. Your own focus as all these people, the Q people, is one particular software they want to build. Okay? So with one agenda, they will have one meeting at the start of the day because it's Scrum meets, right? So Scrum happens every day. They start their planning from the Scrum. Every day they have 15-minute stand-up meeting and discuss. So my own general suggestion to you also, don't try to go into technical aspect of any words. When I tell you what is Scrum, what is sanity, what is, just try to understand the meaning of these words before going to technical aspect of it. That's why I take one word at a time in our classes, in our discussion. So whenever I'm trying to explain anything new to you, remember when I was talking about smoke testing, sanity testing, and so on and so forth. So it's very important to understand the actual meaning of this word before going into the technical aspect of it. That's why to break it down to you, so understand all these words. What is Scrum? Define what is Scrum is before. It's came about the rugby. Okay, rugby game. They all put their heads together on the focus in that ball. And from that point, they start playing the ball. So the same happen in Scrum meets, in the Scrum meetings, 15-minute stand-up meeting, because it's Scrum meeting. The product owner, the Scrum master, everybody comes and one focus to discuss that particular software they want to develop. So that's what Scrum is. So my assignment to you, or you have to go and give me actual definition for what I'm going to discuss with you today. You have to go and give me actual definition of what Scrum is. Give me your own definition and send to me your own definition. I'm not going to give you all definition, but you know what it is. Okay, just give me your own definition of what you mean, what Scrum is all about. Okay, that's going to be your own assignment. Okay. Tell me, give me a definition of what is Scrum. Okay. So now let's discuss about Scrum and the terminologies in it. Right. So there is someone who is known in Scrum, there is someone who is known as what? The Scrum Master. Have you ever heard that word Scrum Master? I hope you can see
Yeah,
my screen.
yeah,
Can you see the screen?
yes.
Okay. There's someone who knows as a Scrum Master. Okay. So there is someone who is known as the product owner. And there's something like backlog, product backlog. We're going to learn more about when we start talking about Jira, okay? The Jira tool which you log in your box. There's something new about backlog, product backlog. I don't know if any of you come across all these words that you just see on the screen. Anyone have any technical or any Nigerian aspect of it about what is Scrum Master, product owner? I also know where you are. Have you heard this word before?
Which one, Scrum Master?
Scrum Master, product owner, product backlog. Have you ever come across those words before? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So product owner, product back. There's something in Scrum we know. In Scrum, there's some terminologies you need to understand. One is the Scrum Master, the product owner, product backlog, which I will explain more to you when we start doing the logging our box using that tool called Jira. We download Jira and start using Jira to log in box. So there's something like Scrum Meets. Yeah, we are just explaining to you what is 15-minute stand-up meeting where all the team starts discussing about the software. So that's what we mean in the Scrum Meet. And team organization, organizing their tasks They share their roles, their tasks to different employees and different team members. Yeah. Team organize their tasks respectively. So a Scrum Master is basically, now let's talk about this guy here. Okay, there's a Scrum Master. Is basically a team member who organizes the team, who makes sure each and every stakeholders. So this, so so make sure each and every stakeholders meet. So make sure that each and every stakeholder is meeting every day. To do what? To discuss the problem about what is happening. That's the role of a Scrum Master. Okay? A Scrum Master is not a project manager. Don't get it twisted. The Scrum Master is not a project manager. Don't get confused between project manager and a Scrum Master. In Agile, there is nothing known as a project manager. People get confused with that. A Scrum Master, project manager, they are the same. They are different profile, please. A Scrum Master is not a project manager. A Scrum Master will not help you in any technical point of view. He or she can know about the products. That's fine. At the same time, he does not know about the product. That does not make him or her unfit for this profile. One Scrum Master can handle more than one project running in an organization. If you are having a lot of managerial problem, mark that word. If you have a lot of managerial problem, like you don't have some resources to complete your tasks, anything like that, you need some tool from management point of view. Can you can test it and develop it if you don't have all those things to do all the testing and develop that particular thing. So he or she is going to help you in all these, in all these aspects. That one is role and responsibility of that Scrum Master. The Scrum Master has to improve, will I say, have to remove impediments. Okay, if you want to say impediments amongst the Scrum team, right? One of those roles of a Scrum Master. Okay, another person there in the Scrum terminology you need to understand is the product owner. The product owner. So the product owner are basically the people from the business analyst team, the BA team, right? That's the product owner. There are people from the business analyst team. Though the product owner and the business analyst profile are kind of related, but they are not the same. Product owner knows everything about the product. Of course, he knows how it should be developed, who are the end users, how the product should behave, on which platform it should be developed, and so on and so forth. And any doubts the team is having, they should be able to help them in that point of view. That's one of those roles of the product owner. Okay, so you can see here we have team, organized tasks, and responsibility, and you can see here there is no dev team, no QA, team, no deployment team, no deployment team. This kind of differentiation don't happen in Agile basically. Everyone is what is a team member. Of course, we'll be doing QA. Yes, we'll be doing QA in that team. So some will be doing development. We have one team, but it doesn't mean there will be any QA, dev. This kind of misconception are therefore not there for Agile. In the team, there will be QA, dev people are there, but it just they do what it is, they collaborate more in Agile. We are all there, but we collaborate more when it comes to Agile. QA people we give test cases for development team so they can test it on text environment only. They can do sanity testing and so on and so forth on their own environment only. Those kind of collaboration happens in Agile. It doesn't mean there is no QA member in the team. Okay. Team itself has the responsibility of organized tasks. Team has the responsibility of what? Organized tasks. Of course, there will be senior members in this team. There will be some leads in this who will be assigning those tasks to each and every member. You can't expect someone who just joined the organization, who just joined the company, should start assigning tasks to everyone. But it's more of what collaboration kind of environment. Everybody collaborates together, right? That's what mostly happens in Agile team. Dev people are there, QA members are there. Everybody are there working all together in Agile. As I told you what the role of a Scrum Master is. Scrum Master is responsible for setting up the team, sprint meeting, and removes obstacles which are made by impediments to the progress of that particular team. The product owner who knows the product creates product backlog. If you know, we'll talk about more about product backlog. Prioritize it, backlog and Scrum team. Everybody manages his own work, organize the work to complete the sprint of that particular circle. So what you need to understand about Scrum practices. What are those Scrum practices? What happened in Scrum? What are its practices in Scrum? Before I explain what is Scrum practices, can someone tell me what is understand by sprint? What is sprint?
Mean to run.
Sprint. What do you understand by sprint? Before I go into Scrum practices, how it's being done. What is sprint? We are just 15 more minutes.
You mean like the simple term, the sprint, or just sprint?
Yeah, just give me your grammatical words. Yeah, sprint.
I mean, to run.
Yeah, to run. So sprint is basically running quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Running as fast as you can. As fast as you can. As fast as you can. That's what sprint is. So can is important word here. Okay, it's not that we only run in the main while you will fall down. That is not a sprint. You have to complete it as well. So it's not like one day I will sit in the office for 16 hours, 8 hours tomorrow. I will not come to work. I will not come to the office. Sprint does not say that. As fast as you what, as you can. You can see as fast as you can, you have to see your capabilities as well. So every team member needs to understand everyone's capability. If someone is a fresher in the team, everyone should understand his capability. is just joining the organization, just a fresher, just a 5 year experience. Everyone in the team should understand his or her capability. All right. They will give the work to that member accordingly. And if someone is working as the lead level in the team with 10 years of experience, then of course it should take up more responsibilities. It should run faster than the others. Okay, it should run faster. So the can, as fast as it can, the can is the important word here. That is what I wrote here. As fast as you can. That what sprint is. Can is important because of quick quality. All right. You have to give the quality product. It's not like anything you are grading, you just give it out because I was in the sprint. I was running quickly, so I will give you anything. No, it doesn't happen in a sprint. Because you are in a sprint, you cannot say that quality is bad because we are in a sprint. We are moving quickly. So the product is very bad. That's why we give a bad quality. That is not an excuse. That is software that the software team can give to the client. That is not an excuse because we're in sprint. So as fast as we can give a working and good quality product software to the client. So what will happen in sprint? What will happen in sprint? In a sprint, we generally make 1 week sprint. Okay. A sprint can be 1 week sprint. It can be 2 weeks or maximum 3 weeks for anything to get developed, any software. All right. So every day there is a kind of release for internally they are following the kind of sprint. So in one particular sprint, they will develop some kind of code and they will develop it to their clients. That is what sprint is. Okay. So what is sprint? What is that sprint? In general term, a sprint is that particular duration where a development team will developing a lot of things. Okay. The QA team will be testing a lot of things which we get the deploy in client environment in a particular defined frame of time. That is definition of a sprint. I have any question to that? Any question to that? There's a builds, there's a numerous of builds in your application. You can see a login page, you can see the side defense functionality, you can see login with Outlook, login with text boxes, and login with all those things in your application. They're all modules. So we are building all those things. Okay. So each iteration, that is this 1 week, we're going to commit this into the deployment server so that client can see. And this you have to be working. So we all work in the sprints. So that's what I'm trying to define what sprint is before we dive into what happens in Scrum practices. You need to understand what sprint is all about as fast as you can. Because you are in a sprint does not mean you should deliver a non-working software. Equality software have to be delivered. Okay. Any question? All right. There is a thing that happens in sprints. There is what happened in a sprint. Let me take this up. So what happened in the sprint is in the agile methodology in Scrum practices, we have what we call the sprint planning. We have the sprint planning, we have the sprint itself, daily scrum meets, sprint review meeting, we have the sprint retrospective meeting. So those are 5 phases in the agile classic agile methodology. They're in very 5 important things we need to understand. We have the planning, we have the sprint process, daily scrum meets, sprint review, and 5, we have the sprint retrospective meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what happened here? Whenever agile is happening, these 5 phases will be there. Okay, in agile, your team now. So I want you to understand that these are interview questions as well. How your development team is happening, where you are working right now. Can you explain your agile methodology, agile scrum, agile methodology in your team? How does agile works in your team? Can you just give me a few illustration of agile work in your team? So these are all interview questions. How the development is happening, where you are working right now. If you take the idea from what I'm telling you, it will be very good for you. At the same time, this is a kind of question that doesn't form the kind of cost level in ISCQB. We're talking about your testing, what are type of testing, different SDLC model. What do you know? These are not part of those testing interview questions. These are, because what I'm discussing today is more about the perspective of project management point of view, rather than the testing point of view. Okay, this is not business or software testing, which you should learn. Is more about project planning. Okay, that's I want you to really pay really good attention to this, right? Which we are doing today. As I want to spend some time to mostly explain to you and cover everything about the management point of view when it comes about the Scrum practices, Agile methodology. Because this will ask you have to give them breakdown of how Agile works in your, how development is working in your industry you are working right now. All right. So there are 5 phases. 1, planning, sprint planning. 2, sprint, daily scrum meets, sprint review meeting, sprint retrospective. So there are 5 phases. First is the sprint planning. We have, in the sprint planning, we're going to have what they call the product backlog. Has anyone heard this word before, the product backlog? Do you have idea what this product backlog is? Do you have idea of this product backlog?
Like when the product malfunctions.
Well, actually, is where you up to your product owner. The product owner, they kind of put these words in the product backlog, your modules in the product backlog. So there are 5 phases. First is the sprint planning. In the sprint planning, you can see in sprint planning, you have the product backlog, team restructure and capabilities, business conditions. So let me break it down for you. In the sprint planning, we have the product backlog, we have team restructuring and capabilities, and business conditions. Business condition means what you have to deliver on what priority. Look at your UI, look at your user interface, your screen. You can see your what is the most priority in that particular user screen, your banking application. Your login page, you should have your login page, which you have a username and password. So you can be able to log into the home page, right? These are the priorities. All those terms and conditions are not the priorities. On your Google page, I explained to you, I explained priorities and severities as those bugs, right? Which are the ones that have to commit to the client first. The client to start making use of it. If you follow these videos I've been giving past lectures, you understand what I'm trying to explain to you. All right. So those are just business conditions. What are those? Basically means what you have to deliver on what priority. You can't start doing terms and conditions on that page. You need to give the client the working software on what priority. These are the main basic ones that have to be on this page, like your login page, maybe your profile, the head where you are seeing your email, something to show when you log into those page. Those are the business priorities. What I mean by business conditions. So business condition basically means what you have to deliver on what priority. What is the priority of development? What should be developed first, or what should be given to the client first? All these things will be desired from here, from this sprint planning. You remember you're going in sprint as fast as you can. You start making that sprint planning, you are planning. Planning is a basic thing, very, very important thing you have to do in any phase. Okay? Sprint planning. In sprint planning, these are what happens in sprint planning. Product backlog, team restructuring capabilities, business conditions, and all those things. So product backlog as well, we will see in Jira when we start discussing about Jira to as soon as we create anything, it goes into the product backlog. Okay. So as soon as you create anything, like okay, these are the features we want to develop. The features have to have a profile where the user can able to see his pictures, his face, notification icon, everything that has to be in that particular web page will go on this product backlog. That's all. The product backlog is just like a bucket. Okay, just like a bucket. Everything we want to develop will go in here. Okay. Then business conditions. That's why business conditions. All right. Everything. The priority ones. Okay. The product backlog, everything goes into the product backlog. Everything was decided based on the priorities, we go into the product backlog, what we start, the features we have to develop on that particular application. Then team restructuring is also applicable. How our team is how our teams are. So as I told the product backlog as well, we'll talk about it in Nigeria. So as soon as we create anything, it goes into the product backlog. Backlog means a kind of bucket from where you will picking your tasks, your basic task. Whatever is coming in development, it goes into the backlog. It goes in here. Anything you want to develop, it goes in here. So to develop, okay, in your planning. Okay, we're planning for it, throw into the bucket. For instance, like we have a login page, we have a login page, we have our add friends functionality, add friends functionality notification. Then what else do you have on your Facebook? Like you are developing kind of e-commerce. I mean your social media application. What else do you have on your page again? So on notification icon and what else? So Chuma, can you help me out? What do you have your login page again? Your social media. We have a login page. We have a add difference optionality. We have a notification icon. And what again? What do you have again? So all this thing goes into your product backlog. For instance, your login, add friends, add friends, and there will be multiple requirements in login. There will be multiple requirements also. Maybe in login, you see have a login to Outlook. You see have a login to Outlook, login to Google. No, a lot of functionalities will have to be there just for this one alone. So all these things goes in here into product backlog. Okay, login to Google, login to Outlook. All these things goes into this bucket here. So all these things are requirement coming from the clients. You first go to the product backlog. From there, it will be picked to the sprint backlog. We're going to the sprint. So this is sprint here. From this sprint now, all these things after doing the team restructurings, like who is going on vacation, who is on for the sprints, how many weeks we do the skin and capabilities, who and who to take these various tasks. This happens team restructuring, this is sprint planning, business condition, which are the priorities that are going into in the particular sprint. From there, we put all these things in this particular thing, what the features we want to develop, we put it in the product backlog. From there, in sprints, everything go to sprint backlog. So from sprint backlog, it will be picked to that sprint backlog. Suppose in sprint planning, you have one product backlog with 100 requirements. Oh, our time is fast spent. One page. Should I have some time again, or should I stop for you continue next time?
Continue.
We should continue next time or end the
No,
class for now.
no.
Now we saying you go on. Keep going.
Okay. So after doing this team restructuring and capabilities according by business value, business condition, what is the priority ones? Then it goes to the product backlog. These are just like a bucket. Then we start the sprint. How fast we can. We start the sprint. So everything that is in the product backlog, go to that sprint backlog. So in sprint backlog, suppose in sprint planning, suppose in this sprint planning, you have one product backlog, right? You have one product backlog with 100 features. All these login functionality, how different notification icons, how different functionalities and all those things. There are 100 of them in this bucket. So 100 there in this bucket. And during our team's restructurings, and you see that Mike has gone on vacation. Frank has gone on vacation. And we are just have only 7 people remaining in our team. So that way we start doing our team restructuring before it's a committee to the sprint. So because of our team restructuring and our capabilities, we see that we can't able to commit 100 in this sprint backlog. They are all in this bucket, right? So we have to put out others 15. Let's pick login according by business condition, which are priority ones. Let's pick up login functionalities, add different functionalities, notification. Priority one that the clients have to see. We commit like 15 out of 100 here in our sprint. Out of these 100 requirements that are there, but sprints is of, I told you, sprint is an iteration. What did I say sprint is all about? The definition of sprint. I told you the definition of sprint. A sprint is that particular duration where a development team will be developing a lot of things. QA team will be testing a lot of things, which we get deployed in the environment in a particular time frame. That time frame is that sprint chunk of code. That's the definition of a sprint. It will be more clear to you when it will show you, when I'll show you Jira. I told you about that. So sprint is that iteration of time. And what working software are you going to commit? That time frame, it can be 1 week, it might be 2 weeks, or sprint can be 3 weeks. Some companies do 3 weeks, 2 weeks maximum. So say 3 weeks maximum. These are the very this. Start seeing all those builds on your system. That's why sometimes you go to your page, you see that you have different features now have been introduced in your applications. So that's our sprint. We built it, it's not working. So we can't commit 100 because of our team capabilities. We can't commit 100. So we have to look at our business conditions. We can only have out of 100, let's be 15 priority ones, and let it go into the sprint backlog. So those 15 will go to the sprint backlog. So those 15 will go to this sprint backlog. So here you can see it's within 30 days. All right. It depends on your organization, depends on your company. It's not mandatory. It should be 30 days. It can be 2 weeks. It can be 3 weeks. It can be 1 week. It all depends on which your organization is embarking on. How many weeks, depending on the capabilities, and so it can be sprint can be 2 weeks, and so it all depends. It can be 2 weeks, anything can be there, it can be 3 weeks, and so forth. So from one sprint, you can go to daily scrum, all right? After one sprint, after done with one sprint, and remember, this sprint burn down chart, you can see here, sprint burn down chart shows the amount of work that has been completed in an epic or a sprint, amount of work that has been completed in a sprint, and the total work remaining. Okay, so burn down chart are used to predict your team likelihood of completing their work in a timely manner. So we have completed this sprint in a time frame of what? 2 weeks or 1 week or 3 weeks. It depends on which week. I say 30 days plan depends. So you understand, it can depend on organization. They say they want is 2 weeks. They also the sprint lasts for in our own organization, sprint lasts for 2 weeks. So these are typical interview questions they ask you to know if you are really a QA, if you have really worked as a QA. So understanding the management part of it gives you more leverage of what it is. Most interview questions does with 70% of your behavioral interview questions, which I'm telling you here today. It's not about your if and else and your coding aspect of it, your testing. The major aspect of it takes you more, tells the interviewer more, the interview partner more that you have more experience of what you're talking about. When you explain all these things, explain how agile happens in your own environment. This is what I'm telling you today. You need to understand. All right. So this is the whole sprint now that I've done for just 2 weeks. Okay. 30 days can be just 30 days mean anything. It can be 1 week, your organization can be 2 weeks, your organization by 3 weeks. It all depends. And I just told you what bond that chart is to see who was those bond that chart, your scrum master. Okay, watch how the team is working. Okay, you see the bond down chart. All right. So this is what the one sprint is completed. I told you that sprint is the iteration of time frame. All right, so that's what it is. So year is within 30 days. It depends on your organization. It's not mandatory. It should be 30 days. It can be 1 week, can be 2 weeks, anything can be there, can be 3 weeks. So all this sprint is done. 2 week sprint or 1 week sprint is completed. So from there, from one sprint, which is completed, you can go to what? Daily Scrum Meet. And what I think daily Scrum is, daily Scrum Meet, what did I say it is all about? Daily Scrum Meet. What is that Scrum? I just explained to you about rugby. Please be vocal, be vocal. I'm not going to spend your time today, but I want you to get something out of it. What is that Scrum I told you about? What is Scrum, guys?
Putting health project.
I can't hear you.
I said putting heads together to deliver a project in a timely manner.
Yeah. So that was Scrum Meet. So from one sprint you have completed, now you go to daily Scrum Meets. Daily Scrum Meet. And daily Scrum Meet can be 15 minutes stand-up meeting. You guys have to do what Scrum is, right? So from one sprint, you can go to daily Scrum Meet. Daily 15 minutes, your daily 15 minutes. Some do it for 20 minutes, some do it for 10 minutes. So daily 15 minutes is a status meeting where you'll be asked what you did yesterday, okay? What you did yesterday are discussions, right? What you did yesterday, what are you going to do today? And if you face any kind of issues, all right? If you face any kind of issues, that is it. All right, that's what they asked. That's what is being discussed in that daily Scrum meet. So that's what happened in a daily Scrum meeting. Okay, where you will be asked what you did yesterday, what you are going to do today, how many modules are you able to test it, are you able to Mike, are you able to test the login page? Do you have any bugs? Do you log any bugs? Any issue? What how many modules? Because everybody have been given tasks to do, so you go and pick your tasks from this um, sprint backlog. Okay, I'm going to do login page. I want to test the login page for functionality. I'm going to test the notification. So the end of this sprint, now you guys then come for your daily Scrum Meet. Daily Scrum Meet is the 15 minutes status meeting. You discuss task discussion, what tasks you were able to do yesterday, and if you have any problem or anything, which is an impediment, as I just told you, which are uh, the uh, the role of the Scrum Master. All right. So you can say yesterday I tested this module, I logged into issues, executed 30 test cases. Today I'm planning to complete. All right. Today I'm planning to complete 60 test cases from this module. I will execute 60 more test cases. Okay. So those are tasks and discussions and impediment. Like issues can arise. Issues is not related to the bugs we found. Issues is not what issue is what stop you from working, right? Issue cannot be only from bugs. It can be what stop you from working. Like my internet is not working for 1 hour, working from home. Your internet was working for 1 hour. There is there is This is where the Scrum Master comes in. All right. So he will look into all those issues. So the role of the Scrum Master is to remove what impediments among the Scrum team. Okay, so that's what happens in the Scrum meeting here, the two discussions. So decision making, all right. In decision making, maybe of course we'll be making decisions. Suppose you said I already executed 30 test cases today. I've tested this login page, add friends, functionality notifications. I've tested all those things. So in since you said I've already executed the 30 test cases for this module, and all these high priority test cases have executed. Now I'm all ready to complete this module today, maybe those low priority test cases. So someone in your team member will be, maybe it might be your lead or your test lead, it might be the product owner. They can suggest that, okay? They can suggest that, Mr. Mike, okay, since you have finished the high priority things, let's move to another high module, high priority stuff. Okay, we will come to low module priority afterwards. So this show will be taken in this Scrum meet. That's what happened in this Scrum meet. Okay, he said, no, since you have done the high priority test, you see, you want to start executing low priority test. No, no, why don't you pick more high priority test cases from the product backlog, and let's keep on executing, because we have our next sprint is about to commence again next week. So these are all decisions can be taken in this point. That's what happens in this Scrum meet. So your test lead, your product owner can say, let's move to another high priority stuff. We will come to low module priority afterward. This kind of stuff happen in Scrum meet. Hope you get me. So after then comes what we call sprint sprint review meeting. So you can see this sprint review meeting, what happens as soon as the sprint is about to complete, then we review it. Okay, review it. You can see this review and this sprint review meeting and sprint retrospective meet is about to complete in one cycle. In some organizations, they do it together. They're all together. Sprint review meeting and sprint retrospective, they do that all together. In review, what happens is as soon as the sprint is about to complete, then we review it. So review meeting and sprint retrospective are in one phase only. The focus of both this sprint review meeting and sprint retrospective meeting are same. What to do, what this meeting is about is that, what do we do better? What could we have done better? And so on and so forth. That is the sole agenda of having this meeting. Then again, the same cycle repeats itself again. You go to sprint planning, commit like you take like 30, then after 30 we do our bond down chart, then we say, okay, the sprint go last for 2 weeks, we start developing all those things. Then after then we do our every day we come into sprint a daily Scrum meet to discuss what we have been developing, what our test cases are able to execute, then decision we take. Just this cycle repeats itself again and again. The cycle will follow again. You will do sprint planning, sprint daily Scrum meets, again, review meets, and again, retrospective. This is continuation process for Agile. Any question to that? I'm not going to spend some time with you, but I want you to get something out of it today. So these are the process. You have to follow each iteration of the Scrum is not a sprint. Okay, so product backlog is a list where all the details are entered to get end product. So during each sprint, top items of product backlog are selected and turned into sprint backlog. Right? Teams work on the defined sprint backlog. So these are just the process how it's been done. So I want to tell you about the agile testers. The agile tester, this is what your role, this is what you do. Okay? I want you to listen to me very carefully. So then comes the agile tester. What should we do? All right. So in agile tester, what you do is that you provide continuous feedback. So as soon as you get an issue, some of the bugs, you should provide that bug as soon as possible. Don't wait for I will log the bug as soon as I complete testing. No. As soon as you have to provide continuous feedback. Continuous feedback. That's what that's your role as an agile tester. Bugs are coming to the system, application are coming to the system, you have to keep on testing it. So provide continuous feedback to the client, okay, or to your test lead or whatever it is. So as soon as you get anything, any issue might be anything, okay. Some of the bugs, you should provide that bug as soon as possible. Don't wait for I will log the bug as soon as I complete testing. No, provide it as soon as possible. That's agile. So we deliver a working software in a timely manner. Two is deliver value to the customer. Yes, you should think about the customer user experience first, how this particular software will be for the customers and so forth. So you have to deliver the value to the customer. So two, enable face-to-face communication. As an agile tester, this is what you have to do. Enable face-to-face communication. You are going into daily scrum. You are attending a lot of meetings. You should be able to do a lot of face-to-face communication. Okay? You also have courage. You have to have courage. Okay? Of course, a person with 1 year experience can easily say the priority of this sprint was not correctly done. You can say that. Just have 1 experience in joining an organization. So you have to have courage to speak out. Okay? So he or she should be courageous enough to point out the loopholes in the system. It doesn't mean you are pointing to the person or you're pointing to your test lead or your manager. You are trying to be better in the next sprint. Okay? So you have to be courageous. You need to be courageous. Don't think he's my senior, I cannot, he's my manager, he's my test manager, I cannot say anything to him or her. Those things, those kind of things does not happen in Agile. Right? You have to be courageous. 5 is keep it simple. Okay? You have to be able to improve yourself. So keep it simple. Practice continuous improvements. Of course, you should be able to improve yourself. All right? So you have to practice continuous improvements, able to improve yourself. Responding to change. Customer will keep on, as I told the customer, will keep on changing the requirement. Then you should be able to deliver the change in the requirement. You should be able to be flexible enough. As I told you, the text box is here and they move it to be down here. Okay, sign in, log in. So you should respond to change in Agile. Okay, so self-organize, team organize yourself. You have to be able to organize yourself. Focus on people. Of course, you should be able to focus on people. Otherwise, how will you be able to do the testing in Agile? So you need to be able to focus on people, okay? So you get it out of it. And number 10 is enjoy. That is the most important thing. That is what Agile methodology says itself. It said you should do what? Enjoy. You should enjoy your testing, okay? Hope you are listening.
Yes.
You should enjoy
Yes,
your
sir.
testing. Yeah, you should enjoy your testing. When you're doing your testing in a QA, you should enjoy. Okay, enjoy what you are doing. Okay, so that is so agenda of Agile. You say you should do what you should enjoy your testing, although you be stressed out. That is the more important thing. That is what Agile methodology says itself. You should enjoy your testing. You should enjoy your testing, otherwise you will not be able to work in Agile. You'll be taking unnecessary pressure. Whatever you are doing, you should do what? You should enjoy it. So that's one is so um that one is so amazing about Agile methodology. You should enjoy. Any question, guys?
Hi, this is me. My name is Hamid Chojai, and I've been involved with a number of software development projects over the years at a number of different companies, and I've come to recognize Scrum as one of the best agile development practices in use today. In this fast-paced video, I want to show you why Scrum is so great and how you can get started with Scrum in under 10 minutes. I'll cover all the core Scrum concepts, like product backlogs, team roles, sprints, burndown charts, and more. So get ready to be bombarded with information. Let's say this is the product we want to build. For this product, we get all kinds of feature requests from customers, executives, or even other team members. In Scrum, features are written from the perspective of the end user. Therefore, features are known as user stories. The collection of all these user stories is called the product backlog. Another way to think of the product backlog is to think of it as a wish list of all the things that would make this product great. Once we have our wish list or the product backlog, we need to start planning which specific user stories we're going to be putting into a particular release of our product. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's back up a bit. To build this product, we need to have one or more people in our team who are going to play a variety of roles. First, we need her. She plays the role of product owner and helps make sure the right features make it into the product backlog, representing the users and customers of the product. She helps set the direction of the product. Then we need this guy. He's the Scrum Master, and his job is to make sure the project is progressing smoothly and that every member of the team has the tools they need to get their job done. He sets up meetings, monitors the work being done, and facilitates release planning. He's a lot like a project manager, but that's such a boring title, so we'll call him a Scrum Master to imply he knows some jujitsu. And the rest of the team has similar roles to other development processes. These guys build the product, while these guys test it to make sure it works right. These guys use it and hopefully pay for it. And these guys, they generally get in the way, but it turns out you can't build many products without them. But let's get back to this, release planning. To plan a release, the team starts with this, the product backlog, and they identify the user stories they want to put into this release. These user stories then become part of the release backlog. The team then prioritizes the user stories and estimates the amount of work involved for each item. Sometimes larger user stories are broken down into smaller, more manageable chunks. The collection of all the estimates provides a rough idea of the total amount of work involved to complete the entire release. A quick side note about estimates. There are a lot of techniques for creating good estimates. Some prefer estimating in story points, where estimates are made relative to building a small component with a known level of difficulty. Unfortunately, story points don't answer the question of, when will my project ship? I've found that the best technique is to estimate work in hours, but to use some standards in how estimates are done. For example, things that take less than a day to complete will be estimated as 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours. Every item will fall into one of those buckets. There will be no 3-hour estimates, for example. A 3-hour item would fall into the 4-hour bucket. Larger items will be estimated as 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, or 10 days. Again, all estimates in between will fall into the next larger bucket. Extremely large items are similarly estimated in months, 1, 2, 3, or 6 months. But the reality is that such items will need to be broken down substantially before work actually begins. We'll come back to these estimates in just a minute. But for now, let's get back to this, the release backlog. With a prioritized set of user stories and the estimated amount of work at hand, we're now ready to plan out several sprints to get the work done. Sprints are short-duration milestones that allow teams to tackle a manageable chunk of the project and get it to a ship-ready state. Sprints generally range from a couple of days to as much as 30 days in length, depending on the product's release cycles. The shorter the release cycles, the shorter each sprint should be. and you'll want to have at least 2 to as many as a dozen sprints in a given release. So at this point, we can take our release backlog and split it up into several of these sprint backlogs. One of the most important things to remember about sprints is that the goal of each sprint is to get a subset of the release backlog to a ship-ready state. So at the end of each sprint, you should have a fully tested product with all the features of the sprint 100% complete. Since sprints are a very short but a realistic representation of part of the product, a late finish of the sprint is a great indicator that the project is not on schedule and something needs to be done. Therefore, it's extremely important to monitor the progress of each sprint with this, a burndown chart. The burndown chart is the #1 reason for Scrum's popularity and one of the best project visibility tools to ensure a project is progressing smoothly. The burndown chart provides a day-by-day measure of the amount of work that remains in a given sprint or release. In this graph, you can see that the amount of work remaining bounces up and down from day to day, but is generally trending towards 0. Because historical information is provided in the burndown chart, it's easy to see if the team is on the right track. Using the burndown chart, the team can quickly calculate this, the slope of the graph, which is also called the burndown velocity. This is the average rate of productivity for each day. For example, a team's rate of productivity might be that on a typical day they finish approximately 50 hours of work. Knowing that, it's possible to calculate an estimated completion date for the sprint, or even for the entire release based on the amount of work remaining. What's great about the burndown chart is that we can compare our actual velocity and projected completion date to what the team needs to do in order to finish on time. This is perhaps the most useful piece of knowledge that any team member, product owner, or product executive can have about the project, because knowing whether or not the project is on track early in the schedule can help teams make the proper adjustments necessary to get the project on track. The burndown chart provides empirical proof that the project is on track or if it's going to be late. So let's talk a little about where the data for this incredibly useful burndown chart comes from. As you recall, part of the release planning process was to create an estimate for each user story in the release backlog. The collection of these estimates for a given sprint represents the total amount of work that must be done to complete that sprint. As each team member goes through and makes progress on one or more of the user stories, they simply update the amount of time remaining for each of their own items. So the total amount of time remaining on the group of user stories that make up a sprint changes on a day-by-day basis, hopefully going downward until it hits 0 when the sprint is complete. The burndown chart aggregates the remaining work data and shows it visually. It's brilliant because it communicates a massive amount of information in just a few seconds. And that brings us to this, the daily scrum. The daily scrum is an essential tool to having communication flow freely between team members. The idea is to have fast-paced, stand-up meetings where team members quickly list the work they have completed since the last meeting and any obstacles in their way. By meeting daily, it ensures the team is always in sync and any major issues are dealt with as soon as they are known. Finally, as each sprint comes to a finish, it's important to have a sprint retrospective meeting where the team can reflect on what went right and areas of improvement. After all, Scrum is a flexible, agile development method that needs constant improving and tweaking for every team. So there you have it, Scrum in under 10 minutes. You now know all the essential concepts to start implementing Scrum inside of your organization. But wait a second.
All right. Guys, with this, we're going to end the class for today. So if you have any question, let me know. Hit on the chat box so that we how to do. Any question reference to this? I hope you saw the video. Scrum Mother 10 minutes. Just want to give you a light of what we just did today. In summary, what we just did today. Any question before I end the class? So Chuma, Mike, Frank, Kim.
Thank you so much,
Any
Sam.
questions?
No,
All right.
not really. Thank you
No,
so much.
thank you, Stanley.
All right. Have a good one. And give me your overview. That's assignment. Send to my yes. You said what? Yes, your assignment just define what Scrum is it to you, what you understand for a day to day. Don't have a Scrum of us. Give me a definition of a Scrum, what it is, technically, what you understand what Scrum is. So as I give overall video of what Scrum is in 10 minutes. So we have a light of it. So last at least we have done what we have with testings, we have done fundamental of testing. Now we're going to measure part of it. So in just for 1 or 2 classes or so, we'll just bring some projects and define the project, how we bring running test cases, how using Jira to execute your Scrum, then we start going to database testing, then we're done. So that's right to know because we start giving out do your resumes as quite hitting the market because the market is going to become crazy in a few months. So with that, it's already 4 o'clock past 4. So you just have your 2 hours of class today. So have a good one and send it to my email, please.
Thank you, Stan.
All right. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you so much.
All right.
What about tools to help you implement Scrum? Well,